Uh, please let me know as soon as you can hear me. Let us know if the audio is okay. I think we've got this figured out, but, you know, always lots of surprises. So yeah, just drop a line in chat. Let me know that I'm being heard at all and I'm not just speaking into the void. Or, you know, let me speak into the void. That's cool too. I suppose I can live with that. I'm gonna assume that butts means that we're good. Because butts are good. This cutscene's just quiet. It should be okay once we get into it. Hello, friends, and also Void. Well, recap starting with a very dramatic understatement. Snow is not Hope's favorite person. Hmm.
I don't know what it is about the material you're wearing, but it like totally rubs up against the mic more.
Okay, I'm being told that my mesh shirt is rubbing up against the mic a little, so sorry if there's some noise on that.
Nothing to worry about.
Anyway, if this is your first time joining me, I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIII, which is one of my favorite RPGs, and it's been a big influence on the RPG that I'm working on right now. Get in the car, loser.
You see that?
I'm not.
How about this?
I believe we are about to
Later. How about this?
I'm not sure exactly where we are. We just saw the best, an incredibly good cutscene followed by a slightly iffy boss fight, and we have now paired the worst possible
It's all about teamwork.
combination of characters. The beautiful himbo wife guy Snow and the kid who wants to murder him Hope. So fun character dynamics.
How about this?
I never get sick of launch. That's just so satisfying when it just goes on forever. Yeah, unfortunately we're still in the part of the game where it's all two-person parties, which is just... It spends a lot of time doing this, and it's a little bit frustrating because the battle system is not meant for just two people. It really doesn't... It's not interesting, it doesn't shine, it's often a little more difficult than, like, I think it's supposed to be. But... eventually we'll get through that, and... I don't know, this is a problem that they resolved immediately in the sequel to this,
All about teamwork.
where... I talked about this last time, but... there's a big problem where they want to do two-person party dynamics, which is, I think, is a really good idea, like character dynamics. It's really good when you just have two people bouncing off each other. It lets you get like really into the heart of like what are these characters about, and what's their relationship, in a way that's really complicated once you add in a third person. Just in general, writing three-person groups. I think the volume might still be a bit quiet. Okay. It's not super loud in this part, so maybe we've just got like Snow's guitars kind of quiet in the background. I think that's just intentional. Yeah, we'll see what that's like once we get out of this bit. You know, it would be smart if I was actually attacking this guy. But yeah, two-person character dynamics, really good. Unfortunately, this battle system is not built for two people. It's not as interesting when there's only two people. It means a lot of the more interesting paradigms just don't work. It means you're moving a lot, things are going a lot slower than they would otherwise. So their solution to that in Final Fantasy XIII was they just give you a monster party member. Like, you can just tame like monsters as friends, and they'll join you in battle, and like they'll fill out that third slot. But it still means, but like they're not characters, so you get the battle system bonus of having as many party members as like the system needs, but you know, it doesn't clog up the narrative. Ironbite is asking why there's a radar. I'm not entirely sure that the mini-map in this is a great... I don't like the current implementation of the mini-map. I don't think it quite works. The way that it rotates means that it's very easy to get turned around. Okay, can I ambush these guys like this? The world geometry has a bunch of like ambush points, and I've never managed to, like, I almost never pull it off.
Thanks, bud.
Like, there's these little bits where you can go around and like theoretically sneak up behind them, but the sneak attack system in this is just like very half-baked. Hopefully we'll have a cutscene soon just so Miguel can do some audio tests. They seem to be pretty, cutscenes seem to happen at like a really fixed rate. Like, I think they like deliberately designed everything so that they were metered out at a very specific pace. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they really wanted like a set number of fights in between. Oh, Ren in chat is saying that the mini-map in Final Fantasy XIII 2 is fixed. It doesn't like do the thing where it like reorients itself based on your direction, and apparently that makes it easier to less disorienting, which makes a lot of sense. I'm glad they learned that lesson. Man, you know what never gets sick, tired? Fucking launch. I feel like the problem here is that it's just too good. Like, all the animations in battle, I feel like, feel just really, really smooth and good. But launch is just so satisfying, it's a bit, Man, I just love it when you knock them up and they just don't come down. Just real satisfying.
Later. How about this?
If you missed one of my earlier streams, I was in fact so enamored after I got launched for the first time playing this that I actually went in to get in the car, and despite the fact that there was no room for it in our design doc, and like the game's been feature frozen for months, I actually went in and added a version of launch anyway, just because I love it that much. Okay, what's in this orb?
I'm voting for a cut. Ooh. Gotcha mechanic sucks.
I still haven't done a ton of testing for launch yet. Right now I've been working on I've been doing a hey, who the fuck is this guy? Hey, why does the military have a gun? Why does like why do they have a warlord? I don't think that should be a title in your paramilitary organization. Just controversial opinion there. So in general, you don't actually pick what attacks you do. Like, it's possible I could go to abilities and punch in an entire ATB's worth of attacks.
Time to switch, kiddo.
But there's generally no reason to do that because just pressing auto will do that for you. And part of the reason why this works is because, like, the AI makes really smart decisions. Also, you only control the first party member, like, at all. But even then, in practice, you're just telling them, just fill the bar with whatever you think is good. And the reason why that's still interesting is because you change paradigms. And that changes what classes the characters have, which changes, you know, the types of abilities they'll actually use.
Thanks, Hope.
But yeah, you don't have. Even if you're manually punching in stuff, launches an automatic ability. It just happens. Yeah, that's correct. Launch happens whenever a commando attacks a staggered enemy that isn't already in the air, so it'll just happen on its own. Even if you're punching in attacks like manually. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna retry this, sorry. I've been getting increasingly better at talking and playing this game, but I'm still just not great at it. I still get distracted somewhat easily, and
We fight and we survive. How about this?
and unfortunately, because we're in two-person parties right now, losing a single character is a really huge deal. Like, if you're down to one person, you are fucked. Which,
Thanks, Hope.
I think there's a... I mean, yeah, Snow is getting shot, but it's okay because he has a really cool jacket.
How about this?
Shit. Oh, fuck. I goofed that. Okay, I'm just gonna focus on this a little bit, and then I will talk afterwards, if that's okay.
I can take it.
Good for you, Snow. See, it's fine. He can take it.
You see that? How about this?
Okay, in a better position now.
How about this?
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's really good to have either a medic or a sentinel just to, like, take a little bit of the edge off, but, since they can't attack at all, with a two-person party, it means you're losing half your damage output. Whereas, with a three-person party, you still probably only need one medic or one sentinel, but, you know, switching one out means that you're losing a third, so it's a really big difference. And I think just in general shows some of the things that, like, it becomes hard to balance things around very small discrete numbers, because the differences between them can be so big. Okay, come on. You just fall over, please.
Thanks, partner.
Thank you. Thank you. I do agree that that was 5 stars.
Mr. Gen points.
Personally, I feel like Christogen points as being the things that you use to level up your Crystarium makes perfect sense. So the thing about the Warlord was that he takes half damage from,
I think we're almost there.
from, like, normal non-elemental attacks, which was okay when I had... Sorry, this is part of the reason why being distracted is bad. It's actually really easy to work around that. Just have Hope cast, something that gives him, like, elemental damage, which is available in the Synergist role, but I didn't notice that it dropped due to it being hard to focus on too many things, so playing a little more strategically would have actually been would have made that a little easier. Okay, Miguel, we're getting a cutscene.
Okay.
You've changed, haven't you? Seems like you've toughened up.
I'm a fal'Cie. I had to.
They're the only ones that ought to be fighting the army. Are us dumb grown-ups.
You think it's stupid to fight?
It is if you get killed. Anyway, just lay low. Let the dummies duke it out. The army's no match for Nora, right?
He was smiling.
It's me. What's up?
You damn well know what's up!
Why haven't you called in?
Sorry, slipped my mind.
Right. What's your status?
Great, great. Hope's great too. Are you all right?
I'm great, you're great, everybody's great. Reunion time. Figure out a rendezvous point. Don't sweat it. That line's hyper encrypted.
Hey, sis. Is that you?
I'm not your sister.
I mean,
This city's under our jurisdiction.
is his
We're the
sister-in-law,
ones defending
though.
it. We should have a say in what's done to protect it.
Attention all units. Ignore all fire zone restrictions. Fire at will.
What?
Whatever it takes to kill the fal'Cie. Over.
Whatever it takes. You want to start a war in the streets? Civilians are still evacuating. The collateral we're talking about is unacceptable. You don't know what it's like out there.
You don't understand why we're here. Who do you think it is? Terrified of Pulse and begging us to kill the fal'Cie. It's not the Sanctum. It's not us. It's the people.
We'll meet at Hope's place. Felix Heights, 35A.
Right. See you there. Tell Fang hey.
Take care of Hope.
All over it. And I'll tell you more about Sarah when we meet up. I found out she can turn back. There's still hope.
Snow, listen to me. It's about Hope. His mother
Lightning.
was...
It's me.
Hope? Hope! Answer me! Hope!
Yelling doesn't fix it. It's called interference. You can chit-chat when we get there. I've got point. You fall in behind. And see if you can't cool off that head of yours.
This will be a joint operation conducted in unison with members of the Guardian Corps. Psychon will attend. In command of
Okay, so maybe this is a controversial opinion, but I think if you're engaged to be married and the engagement, and you don't end up having the ceremony due to the fact that one of the parties got turned into a crystal, I think that still counts. Oh, yeah, right, God, I probably don't have, like, any... Wow, these paradigms suck. These are just, like, the worst. So, I'm gonna get through this fight and then fix this. Yeah, I really do love the cast of this game, and like this bit being where you have Fang around to just deflate even cool Butch Lightning. You have the drama between Hope and Snow coming to a head in like a really good way. This is just like... I feel like this is where the cast really comes together. Okay, I'm not gonna go anywhere near that guy until I have some better paradigms. What do I want in here? Sure, Commando. Why not? That seems like something that I would definitely use at some point. Saboteur and Ravager. That seems like, I mean, the problem with that is that there's no commando in there to make the meter slow down. Is Fang's Crystarium brand new? That's a good question. I think it... I believe so. I think she just starts off with her stuff at level 2. Okay, I have Launch and I have Smite, so that's the good shit right there. Do I need anything? Let's boost Saboteur first. Yeah, I definitely want Sloga. That sounds great. Love it when people go slow. I don't know. Does Saboteur have the same Commando's chain gauge slowdown effect? It's been a while since I've looked at the exact details of how the rules work because, well, I mean, like, when I decided that I'd get in the car, I shouldn't, like, use a... Okay. So apparently Saboteur does give me the effect I'm looking for, which, cool, great. Let's see, I don't want to boost Medic first, I want to boost, Ravager first. Oh. Okay, yeah, no, I know Saboteur attacks as they land slow down. Okay, well, let's see how it actually, like, shakes up in battle, and we'll see if that's actually something that makes sense, or if I'm just, flirting with danger. Remember to use Libra ever. Alright, what's this guy deal?
Don't want to lose, do ya?
It's acceptable to slow, you say? Okay. Yeah, I guess having her the Saboteur isn't that useful so long as she doesn't have that many abilities. I mean, slow's obviously really good. Yeah, have I mentioned that I really like the monster design in this? I feel like they're good at being weird.
Bring it on. Follow my lead.
Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follo
please make it in time? Okay. Made it in time.
Follow my lead.
Let's get some slow on these guys again.
Don't get predictable. Pathetic. All right.
Who are you?
Where do I start? I've got a few screws loose, but I'm a fal'Cie, same as you. Difference being, I wasn't born on Cocoon. I'm from Grand Pulse, the world below you all hate so much. My partner and I turned to crystal there and gone to sleep. But when we came around, here we were. The reason Cocoon's in such an uproar is the same reason you're here now. Vanille and I woke up.
Evacuation protocol. You will be moved to a secure location.
The Sanctum follows fal'Cie orders. It's not just after fal'Cie. They'll target civilians and purge everyone who's a threat.
More innocents get killed.
You can't take the blame for that.
Someone has to.
We can still save him. We let loose and bring the army to us.
Draw their fire.
I'm supposed to protect you. I can't let this happen. It's a tough call, that's for sure. Only one choice, I guess. I try to save everyone. So, Hope, are you with me on this? You just need to look out for yourself.
I really love how Snow's writing in this is like just incredibly good for being incredibly endearing big hero shit. While no, Snow's saying that he's supposed to protect Hope because of Lightning's request. He hasn't made the connection yet. But yeah, I love that like every line is like just laser targeted to be really good, like super endearing big hero shit that like lands great for the player, seems really endearing, seems really good, and also is designed to be the worst possible thing you could say to Hope in this situation. It's some good stuff. Like just very consistently, oh, you should have said literally anything else. On like every single line. Yes, I should boost his medic skills.
and ready. How about this?
So there's one thing I was thinking earlier with the fights with Fang as a Saboteur, because I just got slow there, and slow is an ability I put in Get in the Car, but honestly I'm not entirely satisfied with it at the moment. Part of,
Great stuff, Hope.
and I think you can sort of see it in this too, actually, where like,
How about this?
it's like Fang's, it's currently Fang's only Saboteur ability. And, there's a thing where, like, it's really good, it's really powerful, slowing down an enemy or stopping them, has, like, a really immediate dramatic effect. But if it's the only thing you can do, that means you can either, do it a lot, or you have to have, like, a lot of upkeep on it. And part of the way that, like, this game gets around it, even at this point, is the fact that, you know, once everyone's slowed down, you can just switch to another paradigm. You don't have to worry about the Saboteur paradigm. You can just stay off it, come back once they've all sped up again. You always have a lot of options, but in Get in the Car, you only ever have, like, 3 abilities per character, so just any single thing is, like, just inherently going to be a third of that character's kit. And I don't know, as a result, I've been, like, trying to balance making slow, like, not so powerful that, like, it just, like, lasts forever, that, like, it's too good. You always want to be using it, because, like, obviously that'll just fuck things up and make the game too easy. But
How about this?
it does,
That's what I'm talking about.
if you make it too weak, like, that means you have to be doing constant upkeep on it, and that doesn't feel satisfying. You don't want to be, like, that's just, like, too much mental load on the player. Especially, like, keeping track of, like, what enemies have what status effects. Can be really difficult when, like, that's just one of many things that you're doing. So, yeah, that's just something I've been, that's something I've been thinking about. RD's in chat asking, what if slow affected the stagger gauge speed too? I've definitely been thinking about that. I've also been thinking about, like, it would be an interesting balance decision if instead of slowing down, like, how often they attack, it slows down the stagger gauge. But, like, you're still, you know, getting hit while that happens.
How about this? Just too easy.
It's really hard to say. And, like, I think this is probably something that I'm going to be spending a lot of time in playtesting tweaking.
All these people want to kill us, don't they?
I think it probably... Yeah, here's another one of these alternate routes that, like, you just don't really... doesn't quite add up to anything.
I repeat. Citizens, a state of emergency has been declared. Sanctum military operations will be commencing within...
Oh, hey, you have no accessories. Let's fix that.
this area momentarily. For your own safety, a mandatory citywide evacuation has been ordered. Please remain calm and proceed as directed by security force personnel.
Like, definitely the thing with abilities that affect the stagger gauge is that, it means it's more likely to feed into other systems. Oh, that's really interesting. Drakey, I really like that actually. Drakey in chat is suggesting like having like tiers to it, so like the first time you use it on an enemy, they get put into like their stagger meter goes slow, then the second time they get hit by it, it means they slows down their attack, and the third time they get stopped. I like that because it has like a lot of discreteness to it. It means that like it gets more powerful the more you use it, but also you have to like really focus on it, but in a way that's not like that like would feel really satisfying. I think it does still like have some of the same like balance concerns, especially like thinking about how do you balance that in a boss fight where you only have one enemy, and therefore like it's much easier to keep that maintained. But I like that in terms of like feeling satisfying, because I do feel like that's like a big thing about just abilities in general, is that they need to... It's not just enough for something to be powerful, and it's not just enough for something to like, you know, fit into your strategy. You're not even gonna think about like how do you mix it into your strategy if it doesn't come across as like being good in a way you can understand, or good in a way that's like really satisfying to like work in.
How about this? No problem.
So yeah, I like that a lot, and I'm gonna think about that. I might I will probably try putting a version in that, see how it feels.
Not good.
Is there a problem? Now why don't you just calm down? Now what's going on?
I've got you.
I am a fal'Cie! I'm here to kill you all!
What are you doing?
Clearing the area. They'll open fire on a crowd. Doesn't matter who dies. Just wipe them all out.
There's so many. Are they really?
First, let's use Libra, the thing that I always forget exists. Devastating physical attacks, yeah.
It's all about teamwork. Thanks, partner. How about this? I can take it.
I could be wrong, but I think the plushie was supposed to be, the cutesy version of Carbuncle that's been in most, Final Fantasies. Could be wrong on that. It went by pretty quick.
Please, Hope.
Probably shouldn't be bothering with the commando version of, or the sentinel version of that paradigm. I think if I just kept them as commando and medic, that would probably be fine. Like this one. Yeah, totally fine. But more importantly, wallet.
See what you got.
Yeah, Nora, that's an interesting thought. I think the one thing that might be confusing there is just like we already have the concept of upgrading attacks in the form of like upgrading your items.
How about this?
Whereas like something that or something that stacks in like an intuitive way but also doesn't intersect with that, I think might be a little more easy to keep inside your head. I'm not sure. Like how much mental bandwidth you're taking up by thinking about systems that are kind of similar but not entirely the exact same thing is a very difficult question, and I think it's one of those things where you just have to like see it in action. So it's hard to say for sure. Like, I was talking with Andy about this game after the stream, and one thing that I think this is a little more intuitive if you're playing it, but one of the things that I think came across as a little ambiguous is what's the difference between launch and stagger? Because they're both placing the enemy into like a weakened state. And the answer is that stagger means that they take a damage multiplier, and launch means that they can't attack because they're in the air. Which I think are like mechanically very distinct, but it can sometimes be a problem communicating these things, like different states that are like seem like they're thematically adjacent. Especially in a game where there's a lot going on like this one.
Hey. You okay?
Leave her alone!
See, scum! Save the girl! Call the army!
Don't you touch her!
Protect Cocoon!
Okay, you're okay now.
This is our town. Get out of here. Great. You better run, fal'Cie, scum! No mercy! We can take him! Why'd you have to ruin him? Kill the fal'Cie!
Oh yeah, the plushie is like EGL Carbuncle. That's really cute.
Careful now. I'm not afraid of you.
Help
That was
us.
magic! We don't stand a chance! We can't fight that!
Maybe it's more of a clown. I don't know. It's cute.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate it.
Time to go.
Stop them! After those clear! Fire!
Yes, only fal'Cie can cast magic. Because they've been given powers by the fal'Cie.
Walk from here.
That's like the only type of magic that's, magic only comes from the fal'Cie. At least currently, as far as we know. Later games introduce some other ideas, but in general, magic is something that's associated with, like, some kind of god. Which is... I feel like that's a common thread in Final Fantasy that I think works pretty well.
XIII is that way, right? Still pretty far. A great place for family living. So they say. Looks like it actually might be, huh?
Yeah, well, fal'Cie don't have family.
Hey, listen to me, kid. I'm an orphan. I barely got to know my family. But someday, I'm gonna have my own. Once I save Sarah and protect Cocoon.
How exactly?
It's a good question.
Hope that's none of your business.
Right, but everyone hates fal'Cie. Kinda hard to help someone that's trying to kill you. It'll be tough. But everything will work out in the end. As long as we stay together and hold on to hope.
We don't have any. fal'Cie's only hope is a quick death. Hold on to hope. Yeah, right.
Pardon me for just a minute. I'll be right back. Too many. I don't know how I feel about this tradition of plushes being put out every time, but... But I guess it's fine. And then Hope fucking died. Too many jerks.
How about this? It's me you want.
Wow, no. Okay. Maybe this is where Sentinel would be useful. Or I guess I... Nah, it's fine.
Well, come on. Hope? How about this?
I mean, if you had a cool jetpack, wouldn't you be constantly hovering like a foot above ground? Instead of putting your feet on the ground like a chump?
How about this?
I feel like that's just relatable.
How about this? Later.
Anyway, I don't know about all of you, but I'm just still thinking about that line where Hope was like, and he smiled! Just, yeah, pretty reasonable to be upset about, about that. Just, oh, he smiled. Fucked up, huh? Hope, how'd you get down there?
I'll take care of this.
How about this?
Okay, so I'm gonna make a very controversial pitch, but I think instead of fal'Cie, these things should be called fal'Cie. You going somewhere, buddy?
Come and get it.
I definitely feel like the terminology in this game should have been more confusing and more pun-driven. That feels like the sort of thing I would do.
How about this? How about this?
Oh, hey. I should fill out my Crystarium. Oh yeah. Snow can be a Ravager. I keep not using that. So close. Okay, yeah. I've got one paradigm that... did I just...
Leave this to me.
Yeah, I'm just missing the roll level for Ravager on Snow right now. I mean, everything being empty is like absolutely the point. The whole deal is that like they're on the run. We've seen like multiple cutscenes about them clearing out these spaces. It's like, I think it's supposed to feel slightly incongruous that like you're in places that like should be full of people but are instead have been cleared out. Sure, let's do that dual attack thing. Or I could just fucking die. That's cool too. Love to just fucking die.
How about this?
I think I might be okay to actually win this fight with only one person. But...
How about this?
boom. 5 stars. Yeah, Hope died, but don't worry about that.
There's gotta be something around here.
I don't know. I feel like these environments are really interesting. Like, we've had a lot of variety so far. These urban spaces have, like... I don't know, there's a real sense of progression, like it changes over time. I like these environments.
Thanks, partner. How about this? How about this? Time to switch, kiddo. You see that?
Yeah, Commando Medic's fine. I don't need to worry about this Sentinel shit right now. I'm good.
It's all about teamwork.
He can take it.
How about this?
The thing I like about this environment is not just that, like, it's a city, because, like, you know, we've seen cities in Final Fantasies before, but this is suburbs. I feel like that's, like, a novel environment for... Oh, fuck. Don't die, don't die. Oh, he died.
Not yet.
Okay, let's place a little more... Actually, you know what? I've been sitting on 5 TP for so long.
Shiva!
Let's use motorcycle lesbians to make this go a lot faster.
Show 'em how it's done.
So, I see you brought a motorcycle to this fight. Me too.
We do this together.
I'm not sure it's actually ever explained what the Eidolon are. They never say they're fal'Cie or anything.
Let's ride.
It's possible that this, that like it's explained in the lore data log, but
That's it.
I don't want to read lore.
Cool 'em off. Way to go. How about this?
Yeah, when you summon an Eidolon, all the other party members fuck off until it's all done. In general, they're an interesting idea, but they don't seem to quite.
We are sure that this is the right way.
That's the mood of the game. Snow has been looking at the same mini-map that I have. Okay, I don't remember what they say about Eidolons. They're not, I guess I just didn't find it super memorable. But I guess we'll find out together.
It's all about teamwork.
It would definitely require like a radically different game, but it does. I definitely do see.
Thanks, partner. How about this? Later.
I feel like it would be really interesting if they leaned more into the vehicle aspects of the Eidolons. It seems like something that like they came up with the idea on paper, and like it thematically tied into the whole thing of being on the run, but then they couldn't actually design environments where like it would make sense to use them as vehicles, which, you know, it seems like a hard problem. I don't think I can think of a way to do to make that work out. Just building environments where you know, you can have vehicles in them, but also you can be on foot is like a really difficult problem. But it definitely does seem unfortunate because, like, I don't know, it seems like there's obviously like something interesting in they're on the run. Also, they all have vehicles. That are like all, you know, they're like unique characters. Yeah, those enemies being 1 foot above the ground, I am almost certain is going to prevent me from using Quake, so like I'm not even bothering trying.
Oh, follow my lead.
And yeah, they're definitely stopping me from launching. I haven't launched shit in ages, which is a real bummer. Please, please launch, come back. Oh, Gatling gun, I am definitely gonna...
It's me you want.
No! It was too late. We've had Shiva for a while. It just recently, it's actually the first,
You see that?
Eidolon fight you have to do. But you don't get to bust it out until much later, due to all the constant shifting around of party. Oh no. Fuck.
Not yet.
Okay. Let me focus on this fight. This is... I'm not doing a great job distracted, so... Yeah. Give me Commando and Synergist. I think if I have some buffs, this should be okay. Okay, Gatling gun is happening, so please, please heal Snow. Don't let him die.
Well, come on! Thanks, Hope. Thanks, partner. How about this? It's all about teamwork.
Yeah, Sentinel definitely useful here.
How about this? Hope? Hope, follow my lead.
Okay.
I can take it.
He can take it.
Thanks, Hope.
So I think so far my favorite sentences from this part of the game are, I can take it, it's me you want, and he smiled at me. That's just my opinion.
Time to switch, kiddo. How about this?
Okay. Wow. The target time for that is 5 minutes. They are expecting you to, Whoa. I definitely do like these fights though, like they're definitely like finding ways to make them use your full vocabulary even with just 2 people, which is honestly, I'm impressed.
I wanted to ask you something.
What's that?
You say you want a family. What if they were taken from you?
Well then, I'd take them back.
And what if you couldn't? What if you knew who was to blame?
Well, then there'd be trouble. Hey, are you okay? Did you get hit in the head or something? Or... I guess we'll have to talk about this later.
Don't just stand there.
Hope, wait!
Ushumgal Subjugator is definitely a name. Okay, using Libra twice so I can see... delivers devastating physical attacks. Thanks, Libra.
How about this?
Whoops, that was not the paradigm I wanted.
Oh, follow my lead.
So the deal with this city is that we're going to Hope's house to hang out.
Time to switch, kiddo.
Which is in the middle of the suburbs,
Oh,
as
follow my
one
lead.
does. Yeah, just total normal-ass police equipment called a subjugator. That does, in fact, seem to be how the Guardians roll.
It's all about teamwork. How about this? How about this?
So I'm not entirely sure exactly how they meter this out, but whenever you use Libra, here, I'll pull up the screen again. Sometimes the notes will just have like question marks on them, which means that you have to use Libra again. I think it might just be on bosses. That seems to be when I normally notice it. But I'm not 100% on that.
Oh, follow my lead. Time to switch, kiddo.
We're fighting the law, you know. Just normal police equipment, as one does. Like Dragon Robot Origami? Yeah, that sounds... It has like a halo. I realize that doesn't answer like any question. I feel like the camera needs to pan out just a little so that we can like read what's going on here. In general, I feel like a lot of these like mech designs are very cool, but this one in particular, just pull out. I need to see the... Need to see what's up with the halo. Oh, hi. Thanks. Final Fantasy VIII is like definitely my favorite Final Fantasy in terms of like the storytelling being constant, balls to the wall, just wild. But this is my favorite in terms of like the way that the mechanics work.
I need to take a break.
And I really like it a lot. Sheep. That's cute.
I'm not thirsty.
Okay. Well, don't want to waste it.
Mommy? Mommy?
I can't. Snow? What do you plan to do? I need to know.
I told you. Save Sarah, protect Cocoon, have myself a big, happy family. Still, it's a long road ahead. Or maybe not so long. Whatever happens, things will work themselves out. Even if you're fal'Cie, you gotta keep fighting.
And what if that gets people around you involved?
What?
What happens when your actions end up ruining someone's life?
What if someone dies? What then, Snow? How do you pay for what you've done?
I can't! All right? There is nothing that can make something like that right again. When someone's dead, when someone's gone, words are useless.
So that's it? People die and you just run away?
I know! It's all my fault. I don't know how to fix it. Where do you start? What do you say? All I can do is go forward. Keep fighting and surviving until I find the answers I need.
There are no answers! You're running from what you deserve!
Well, why don't you tell me what I deserve?
The same fate! Nora Estine. She was my mother. And she died because of you!
You? You're the one she meant.
Man, that is some good melodrama. Just real good.
When we came out of crystal stasis, we didn't remember our focus or what we'd done. All we could do was wander Cocoon, looking for what we'd lost.
Let's give up. Forget our focus. We don't need it.
We don't need it? Look, if we don't figure it out and pull it off, you're gonna be a thief.
It's just making a kid that young, Alicia. It's not right.
Yeah, it's unfair. But guess what? We grin and bear it like good Lassie, or the fal'Cie starts making more. Like that girl the other day. It doesn't matter what our focus is. We do it, whether we like it or not.
But...
Say we call it quits. You think these people will let us go? They'll lynch us in the street. Listen, Vanille. We do what we gotta do, and get ourselves off this filthy world as fast as we can.
Fine.
You get out of here first. I'll buy you some time. Now, don't you worry. I'll come and find you, no matter where you go.
Wait! Fang! Fang! Please! Don't leave me!
You're not gonna end up a thief. You boys coming or not? Your fight's right here! By the time I took care of them all, Vanille was long gone. After that, Rains and his cavalry found me. I never stopped searching for Vanille, but I couldn't find her. Her or our focus.
So, you're telling me Sarah will come back to life someday too?
Yep. We didn't do our job right. That's why it made her a Lassie. We messed up. Sorry. That it?
You sure better hope so. But whether we're square, that's up to Sarah.
You sound exactly like Snow. And he didn't hit me.
Wait, he already knows this?
Wow. That's a load off. Glad I apologized.
You apologized so you'd feel better?
Guess so. How about you? Feel any better now that you hit me?
It didn't change anything.
Huh. Tell that to my jaw.
Felix Heights is up there. Still a ways before we get to Hope's place.
Better pick it up.
We'll head through that gate.
Right.
Yeah, no, everything about that cutscene, that's real good. The slap so hard birds fly off, just the good texture between Lightning constantly pouting and Fang just being just real smug. It's very good. Okay, what do I... Paradigms are still fine. Maybe I want to lead with Undermine, though.
Bring it on. This without healing. This healing's for chumps.
I think they're ready to sacrifice the city if that's what it takes to catch us.
Oh yeah, that is a bird centaur. Cool. So Effie in chat is asking if like the whole fal'Cie thing is like symbolic or metaphorical, and I think there's like multiple angles you can take on this. Like, obviously, you know, it's a big part of like the game's themes about the sort of religious structure of this civilization and how, you know, they're using this to scapegoat and like sort of extend their power as part of their conflict. I think looking at it like as directly a metaphor, I don't know if you necessarily get anything interesting out of that. The angle that like I found really interesting is just thinking about it in terms of sort of like the religious cosmology of this and how it relates to like how human civilization is structured in this. Like, because like the fal'Cie are gods that control human civilization, they sort of just outright say this, but I think the big idea here is that like humans are just like the pets or tools or like pack animals being used by these gods. And the fal'Cie are, you know, have been given, like, I think it's interesting from a sort of weird alien evolutionary perspective where the fal'Cie give people powers in order to do something, and that's the focus, but they don't actually ever explain what. They just, you know, it's either you figure it out or someone else will get it, and eventually these problems will work themselves out, which is like, just, you know, like a very inhuman way of thinking about it. But it's clearly they've got these systems that, you know, lead to fal'Cie goals being achieved. Despite the fact that, like, this is not, like, just communicating, hey, go do this thing. So, like, I don't know, as, like, a science fictional take on gods controlling, like, lives and what it means for, like, you know, like, the biology approach would be, like, these are two symbiotic species where they have a symbiotic relationship, but clearly one is getting more out of it than the other. To take a religious take on that, where it's like, it's not just like humans domesticating animals, this is gods domesticating humans.
Show no fear.
I feel like that's the interesting take to me.
Follow my lead. Eat this. Don't get predictable.
Oh, fuck, I don't think I'm surviving this one.
Cheers. Change of plans. Follow my lead.
Well, I feel like the interesting thing about, like, at least the fal'Cie, they don't seem to be the same kind of intelligence that humans are. Like, they're not, you know, like, Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna retry this fight, and I'm gonna continue this line of thought, after I beat this guy, since this is a slightly tough one.
Finally, a real challenge.
Okay, so slow, done. Oh, hey, Libra, that thing I keep forgetting to do. Exceptionally high HP. Great. And a stagger point of... I don't necessarily understand entirely what they're achieving with this sort of mushy balance around the chain resistance being low and the stagger point being high. Because those are two things that, like, counterbalance themselves. So I'm not really sure what the idea there actually is. It's possible it's just there to, like, you know, they want it to be, you only stagger this guy once you have a big number, but they want it to be easier to get to that big number, I guess. Heal up, and then I'm gonna switch over. Yeah. Now he's standing. Great. Oh, slow isn't doing shit. Okay. I really wish I had a paradigm that was, I think I fucked up when I made the Fang, Oh, okay. Well, it worked out. I don't remember what Seal Guard does. I think it's just a good guard ability. Meta Guard, heals you. I remember what these do in Lightning Returns a little bit better, where they're, like, much more reactive.
Okay, let's get Snow on the line. Damn thing's still jammed. He can take care of himself.
We'll just have to believe that. Hey, Fang.
Hmm?
The others are safe, right? If any of us got caught, they'd make an announcement.
Yeah, they would. They'd have to let everyone know that the big bad fal'Cie can't hurt him no more. These Cocoon people, bunch of cowards and blowhards.
These Cocoon people have spent centuries under fal'Cie law, in constant fear of a Pulse invasion. If it weren't for Sarah, I'd have been out there too, hunting fal'Cie. Would have been nothing but targets to me.
Okay.
Well, Grand Pulse is just as twisted. Cocoon's a floating nest of vipers, ready to strike. Or so I thought.
So, you became a fal'Cie to fight the Vipers. And destroying the nest is your... I mean, our focus now.
Until we woke up here, we'd been in crystal stasis. Which means we must have completed our first focus. Why can't I remember that part? My childhood's clear as day. But the one thing I need, it's just gone. Blank. Like an empty page. I reach for the memory, and nothing's there. Then there's my brand. It's all messed up. Vanille and me, we lost our past and our focus.
And now, you want to find them? Be a fal'Cie, an enemy of Cocoon?
Pulse and Cocoon can rot for all I care. If I don't figure out our focus soon, Vanille's gonna be a Sith. I'll tear down the sky if it'll save her.
Okay, what was I saying? I feel like, I think, in general, when you're writing stories... did I not get that slowed off? So I think in general, when you're writing stories about gods, you know, you have to ask, like, what do these represent? So like, for example, you know, when you're focused on like stuff like, you know, classical Greco-Roman gods who are very, very human and very dramatic, you know, I think it's pretty obvious, like, what are you actually talking about there? And this is like, these are, you know, stories about actual people. Whereas if you have gods like the fal'Cie in this, where they're, you know, sort of beyond human ken. Like, you can't understand them. They're not... They're just, like, beyond mortal understanding. Possibly they don't have consciousness as we know it. They're incredibly powerful. They rule over your life. But, like, they don't necessarily have any indication of either human feelings or even, like, the capability of communicating with you. You know, I feel like it's pretty, like... It's pretty obvious that, like, you can pull... That feels pretty relatable, you know, as anyone living under, say, capitalism, where we have systems that are inscrutable and not really motivated, but self-perpetuating and extremely powerful, that, like, control your lives. And, you know, just don't have the intelligence to tell you, do this and you'll be fine, but instead, like, create incentive structures that that reward people for doing whatever it is that system wanted to happen, without, you know, there actually being like a shred of humanity involved there. That feels like, I don't know, like, it feels like an easy parallel to draw. And I don't think, like, necessarily that has to be what, you know, the gods in your fiction are about. Just that, like, I think that's why I find this really interesting, is that they've sort of used the science fictional framing to capture, like, one of the weird cruelties of living under, the control of something you don't understand at all. Like, I'm don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this game is like explicitly anti-capitalist or anything. I think it's just, you know, what it's talking about is something that you can draw interesting themes out of. And I think that's intentional, even if they're not necessarily like trying to say, oh, well, that's just like capitalism. I do think also, you know, this take it raises the question, like, what does it mean in the games after this where the world is just controlled by increasingly weird cosmologies that are trying to, like, increasingly weird gods that are trying to assert their own control over the world? Yeah, it's anti-capitalist because the game isn't giving you enough fucking money. That's... Currently at 2,800 gil. To be fair, I have a lot of wallets that I've taken off Psycom that I can sell, but it's really just kind of starved here. Okay. I haven't filled with my equipment in a... Yeah, let's give Fang some better equipment.
Hey, Lightning.
Call me Light.
Did you see Vanille's brand?
No.
No, huh?
Fang, Vanille's brand is on her...
Until it's Seat City? Just look at your brand.
Of course she hasn't.
You start getting more arrows, and then finally an eye. Once it opens all the way, you're done. Let's have a look. Don't be shy.
Okay.
Nowhere near. You got time. Still, you never know. Some people, doesn't take so long. You get a nasty shock, it can speed up the process. Vanille's brand must be pretty far along by now. I gotta save her and get her home.
To Pulse, you mean?
To Grand Pulse. I hear that the Sanctum prevents people from leaving Cocoon. I'd like to see him try and stop me.
So, that's your plan. Wish I had one. Without Sarah, without a future, there's nothing to plan for. There's no way out of this mess, and no way to fight it. I'm stuck trading blows with the Sanctum, but that's no plan. Even if we topple the government, where's that leave us? With nothing to fight for, I might as well be dead.
Your sister. You've got plenty to fight for. Think about it. Don't you want to see Sarah after she wakes up? That's your future right there. All you gotta do is survive. It's simple.
Right.
Snow, they found him.
Hey, Hope!
Clearance request will not be granted. Violators will be treated as enemy combatants. I repeat, this is a sign of
Yeah, I think snow is pretty cool.
this area has been placed under quarantine.
I feel like this poor guy has proven himself. This poor idiot. I like that they're still playing his music in this area. This is really interestingly moody. I don't remember exactly how many hours, but I think we're about 14. And the game total is about, I think, 65 hours is how long it took me. Something like that.
Let's wrap this up.
I definitely agree that this game could be punchier. I feel like there is like definitely a lot of stuff that I would personally consider to be corrupt, but I would describe most RPGs as having this problem. I think in general, I just don't necessarily agree with how long people want RPGs to be. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what if the lore stuff that's in the menus is any good. I don't really ever read it in like anything. I feel like if your story isn't conveyed through actual storytelling, I probably don't want to read a bunch of really dry text over-explaining stuff. I've just been burned by like too many BioWare games where like a bunch of stuff is hidden in a menu and like, or sorry, there's a lot of text in menus, but like you read it and you're like, oh, this is just everything I already knew from playing the game, but presented in a really boring way. Like, I feel like world building is good not when you're reading the wiki article version of it, but when you're seeing the actual effects on stories. So yeah, I can make a stronger statement than that. Fuck lore. Lore is boring. Storytelling is interesting. World building is interesting because it can affect the way that the story is told. Lore is just fuck lore. Lore is for wiki editors. Anyway, I think I'm not opposed to long games. I feel like, you know, one of the great things about games is that they can tell stories in a medium that, like, lets you have longer stories than, like, others would. But 60 hours is a lot. 100 hours is a lot. I don't like that these are common lengths. I feel like it's really hard to justify a 60-hour story. Final Fantasy IV, yeah, I'd say Final Fantasy IV is pretty breezy compared to a lot of modern Final Fantasies. Like, I'm not gonna say that, like, I love the storytelling in Final Fantasy IV, but definitely, definitely it is, and honestly, like, it's still, like, can kind of waste some time, but it's, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't cut as much from it as I would from this. Okay, so please, just, like, die really quickly so I can deal with the big guy. Because that guy's really big, and that makes me nervous.
You're gonna swerve! Tear it up!
You know, I honestly don't know if the DS version of Final Fantasy IV is bloated so much as it's just not quite as punchy. I do feel like a lot of the things that it adds in terms of, I don't know. So I think optional content is a really good way to satisfy both people like me who get, like, really cranky once a game is, like, over 30 hours long, as well as, you know, satisfying the people who get really cranky when a game isn't giving them 100 hours or more content. And, like, you know, having optional stuff that doesn't, like, necessarily fit in with... that isn't necessarily part of the story's pacing, but, like, satisfies that urge is, like, that feels like a good way of doing it. I think can be, like, difficult to communicate, you know, like, let the player pace their own experience. That can sometimes be hard, but there are definitely ways you can do it. Ah, Light. Light, please. Please don't. Okay, I'm just gonna focus on this fight for a moment. This is, once again, I'm not quite good enough to both talk and fight. I will say, I think it was very brave of them to have, no, fuck. That was not the guy I wanted to attack.
Cheers!
I'm struggling.
Appreciate it. No mercy! I'll deal with you.
Light, please don't die. Please don't die, Light. Okay, thank you for not dying.
All in the wrist.
Yeah, giving the lesbian a bark that's, it's all in the wrist, I think was a really brave move of them.
All in a wrist. End of the road.
Yes, Fang, we get it. You have an incredible strap game. Please stop bragging in the middle of this incredibly tough fight. Oh, he's standing. I don't like that he's standing. I wish he was not standing.
All in a wrist. End of the road. Cheers.
It's not early. This fight has just been really dragged on. I have not been doing well. This is, like, extremely not my finest hour. Hey, here's a question. Do I have Quake? No, I don't. Fuck. Oh, he can't be launched. This is bullshit. Wait. Yes. Yes. He can be launched. Okay, pardon me. I will be right back again. I will let this little friend watch the couch. Snow might just be too stupid to die is the thing.
You must be light. Hey.
Why'd you save me?
I was asked to keep you safe. By lightning. And by Nora. I'm sorry. What happened, it was my fault. I put her in danger. I know that. Let me make things right.
You told me before that you couldn't.
And that words were useless and a lot of other things I shouldn't have said. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to set things straight. So I didn't. I thought if I couldn't make up for it, then all the apologies in the world wouldn't mean a thing. So I decided I had to find a way to pay for it first, before I'd even have the right to say sorry. But, it's like you said. I was using that as an excuse so I could run from my own guilt. And that hit home. Oh. Look, Hope. I know what happened was my fault. I don't deny it, and I am sorry. Here. That's lights, isn't it?
Why'd you...
That knife was a present from Sarah. To keep her safe. She trusted you with something that important. You should be the one to carry it. I'll find a way to make things better. Just give me time. If nothing I do is good enough, then I'll take any punishment you want to dish out.
She's gone, Snow. You can take the blame, but it won't bring her back.
I'm sorry.
I knew it all along. I knew it, but I had to blame someone. I had to. I needed a reason to keep on fighting.
It wasn't someone's fault. It was mine. Take it out on me. And keep yourself alive until you do. I have to keep going. Look at that. You don't even need any help. You're all right. That's good to see. Just let me catch my breath.
Always the hero. You wanna die? You can't. I won't let you!
Hope, what's your game plan here?
She's okay.
Sure you're up to this? Thing'll never know what hit it.
Here we go. Finally, we're playing Final Fantasy XIII here.
Thanks.
I guess the one advantage of like starving you of 3 party members for so long is that like you get really used to like thinking in really dramatic differences. And whereas now it's just like, oh, I can just always have a commando in my party. We can just always be doing damage. Which, like, you might not otherwise be quite understanding. Man, look at that stagger meter go. You may note that the amount of damage that Fang is doing right now to this guy is pretty big. Are we gonna hit maximum stagger? Oh, we've hit maximum stagger. Let's... Oh no, he's already slowed. I don't know why I did that. I just love it when girls have big numbers. Just... Girls should have big numbers. Maybe that's gay of me to say, but I believe it. Yeah, so you want to see some big momentum swings. Here is where we're starting to see it. And yeah, I guess I didn't say it, but I really like the cutscene that just came before this. Like, I feel like everything about this has really worked, from the, you know, piggyback emotional processing to just, like, the lighting in the scene to, Hope's really dramatic, I've got this, with, like, in-game UI showing him, coming in. I feel like it's all good. Aw, lightning. Doesn't matter, it's fine. It's got nothing. We can do it. It's not fine. Oh. Man. So close.
You can't be serious.
Okay. Well, let's change some paradigms. That's fine. What do I want in here? You know what? Maybe I don't need another paradigm. I'm not actually sure what I'd need. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted. 2 commandos. And let's level up Hope. Why not? I don't know if I need 2 medics, I think.
Not bad, kid. Where's Snow?
I think Sentinel Medic is good enough.
Sure you're up to this?
Especially since the Sentinel's Fang and she can heal. I feel like having a paradigm that's 2 medics and a sentinel is just a form of prayer. Hope, heal faster, please. Wait, no, shit. That's not the one that I wanted.
Got your back. Appreciate it. Don't get predictable.
Okay, after this, I'm going to switch back to
Don't want to lose, do ya?
even odds because I need to get some buffs back and I need to slow this jerk down.
Cheers!
Cool.
Don't get predictable.
Yeah, slow definitely makes a big difference.
Appreciate it. Don't want to lose, do ya?
Aw, Hope. You know what? I think I can spare a Phoenix down, some Phoenix down in this trying time. Just this once. Just for you.
Don't get predictable.
Yeah, haste is definitely real good to have. It's kind of funny. I considered putting haste and get in the car because it's just, you know, one of those things that's like really fun, really satisfying. You know, feels really powerful in a good way. But it just doesn't work because the game is already too fast.
Operation Nora didn't work out. Oh, my.
You'll be okay.
Aww.
I'll keep you safe.
Lightning. Me too. I mean, at least I'll try. I'll try to watch out for you two.
Don't forget about this one.
That one'll be all right. He's too stubborn to die.
Knowing you'll always be welcome, no matter how much has changed. That's what having a home is all about.
Hope.
Mom's gone.
Nora.
Dad, I know. I'll be in my room. We're gonna rest up. Then we'll leave. If they find out you're sheltering fal'Cie, they'll...
Huh? You're my son. This is your home.
son.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna save in Hope's incredibly loud home. And I think this is a good stopping point for this week. I'm gonna go switch over to just a little bit of Get in the Car for this week. But yeah, I'll just switch that over now. Bear with me for a second. Get switched over. Okay, so turn down the game audio because it's going to be real loud.
Yep, I've turned it down.
Okay. Sorry, we're just going to adjust the audio levels. This game is a lot louder than Final Fantasy, so... Gotta make sure it's not too loud. Yeah, sure. I'm just doing some talking so that Miguel can adjust the audio balance to make sure that I am audible over the game audio. Hopefully that should be all good. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. Yep. So, unfortunately this week I've been working on two things. I've been working on menus and I've been working on, I don't know if you've seen this before, but I think it's shown up on stream a bunch. But there's been a thing where the backgrounds, when you load a save file, we do, have like a thing where it remembers where the background was, and when you load the save file, it'll show the background again. But unfortunately we had a problem here where sometimes when this happened, you'd get like some weird, like only a third of the back, like of a parallax layer would like just be cut off, and you just see like a, you know, sudden harsh pixel line. So please like keep your eye out for that. I think I fixed it, but it's one of those things where there's randomness involved in when it triggers. So if you see that, take a screenshot, send it to me, let me know. I think I got it though. Anyway, I can't really show that off because solving a bug isn't really, you know, there's nothing to show. Here it is working. But I thought I haven't shown the first boss fight, and that might be a fun thing to jump into, so I'm gonna pull that up. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm like happy to answer questions. Otherwise, I think this will be a relatively short stream, but there is some new stuff there that I'd be happy to show. So let's do this. Actually, you know what? First, I'll show the like the final conversation that leads into the boss fight, and that way we'll be doing a lot of fights, and I can show. We can, you know, see a little more of that loading. You know, if that's what y'all are interested in. Yeah, that's true. The only people so far who have seen the first boss fight are... There were some incredible people who somehow managed to break out of the containment area in our PAX demo and actually managed to get all the way to the first boss fight, which was... we had one person actually beat it, which was really impressive because they were not like... I think they were like slightly under-leveled for it. Anyway, I'm not going to be under-leveled for it. I'm going to hit it at the normal level. It'll probably be a little bit easier for me than most people. I've definitely been like working on the balance on this a lot. Two people. Wow. Oh hey, this test kit is way too powerful. I need to switch some of these, I need to switch some of my items, or they are going to be broken as hell. So yeah, Juggle is our version of launch, but level 8 Doom is definitely not appropriate for this part of the game. Let me just real quick swap that one out. And that one out. Okay, cool. Oh hey, chat, which dialogue option should I pick? First person to sound off, I'll pick it. Flustered, dramatic, heroic, Sam-like, sincere, or should we be rowdy? Well, I suppose rowdy wins. Oh, Ardesh in chat was asking if the game over screen has a retry. So the game over screen has a few options. You can restart to right before you entered the fight, which lets you change out your loadout. You can also just hit try again if you want to immediately do the battle again, like without changing. We also have return to the rest stop, which means that like you just don't have enough health to win, and it's like a mandatory fight no matter what. So like roll back to the last time that you were in a safe place. And there's also rage quit to title screen. I don't recommend that one, but you know, that's between you and your god. Aw, thank you, Isaac. I had fun writing those. I really like that gray sprite. That's one of my favorites. It's a mood. It's a flying whale angel thing. It's kind of a jerk. It sucks. Every angel that isn't Angela sucks. The reason why I'm going through these fights so quickly is that you'll note that these guys are level 2 and my attacks are level 4, so just doing that big damage. Sorry, I mean all the angels in the cosmology of this game suck. Other cosmologies follow their own rules. I don't know about any of that. The SMT angels are they're pretty hot. I feel like that's my most basic opinion. Like, just the most basic opinion that I as a human hold is that those are some real good designs. Okay, what option are we picking? Are we going with flustered, dramatic, heroic, Sam-like, sincere, or are we sticking with rowdy? Someone else needs to yell it out because I've seen all of these. Okay, flustered it is. I'm almost certain I must have mentioned SMT Angels as like one of the ideas or the starting point of Angela. I'm sure we'll be able to see how that influence actually made its way in once she shows up. Like maybe just a little. Okay, let's throw in the boss fight and do it. Yeah, I'm not picking boss 2 because none of the sprites are in yet. We've got the balance for him in, like he's fightable, but he just looks like one of those dolphins at the moment. Another thing we don't have in yet is we don't have the boss fight music in yet, so like normally this would have a very long intro that doesn't have the vocals, and then once the conversation stops, the boss fight vocals would kick in, but since those aren't quite ready yet, it's just normal battle music. Okay, give me another choice. Flustered, dramatic, heroic, Sam-like, sincere, or rowdy. Okay, Sam-like it is. So I will say, there is a question, I don't know the answer to this. I'm really excited to find out because I think this is going to come up in development. And it's, how many F-bombs are you allowed in an ESRB-T rated game? I don't know. I suspect it might be fewer than we have. Not like 100% positive on that, but I think it's probably true. I'm definitely interested to find out, like, do they just, like, have a spreadsheet somewhere that, like, has, like, an exact number of how many times you're allowed to say fuck? Or, like, is it, like, a certain number per hour? Because, yeah, like, it's not like a movie where, like, you know, you can just have one and then that's it. Like, dialogue in a game is, like, repeatable. Sorry, Angela. Oh, fuck. Okay. Yes, pulled it off in time. Again, sorry, Angela. Okay. Val, take it. Thank you. Okay, that was a lot of damage during a single stagger cycle. I think probably it'll take most people longer. And also, I am like slightly over leveled for this fight. I expect most players will probably be closer to, here, I'll show you, like, everyone's at rank 4 right now. And the boss is rank 4. I suspect you'll probably be closer to, like, rank 3. Okay, Val, no. Okay, I did not pull that off in time, so Grace got hit with the attack instead of Val, which is less than ideal. I just want to get this guy staggered again as quickly as possible. Thanks. I feel like, the thing with the gray hit points is that I'm a little bit worried that, there's something that, like, I show them to people who play fighting games and they understand it immediately, like, without even asking. Whereas I think, if you don't have that background, it's a little bit less explicable. So hopefully hopefully, you know, I can, like, communicate it well. We'll see. I'm still thinking about ways to, like, really teach that, or maybe players will figure it out eventually. I don't know. I think, like, one thing that's difficult is, like, is knowing what needs to be tutorialized and explained and what are things that, like, players will just figure out over time. Does League use the same for shielding? That's interesting. I don't I don't remember. It's been so long since I played League. Okay, great. That's awesome, because it is a shield. It disappears after fights. So, yeah, okay. Clearly there's a lot of vocabulary here that is, like, along these lines. I mean, I was gonna say not that tough, but actually looking at how much green health everyone has left, that's good. Even like when you're on top of things, you do lose a good chunk. I really like this postcard a lot. I feel like it's cute. Yeah, I tried to make the dialogue, like the writing style in this is very like very loose. You know, punctuation is optional. People holler stuff in all caps if that's appropriate. I sort of wanted it to be like extra conversational. Yes, Angela's wearing the harness that she was strapped to the boss for the rest of the game. She's yeah, which is the SMT design inspiration that Isaac was talking about. Speaking of the game being very loose and conversational, just whatever's going on here. Yeah, I just wanted to jump into the diner just so you could see a little bit more of Angela's character sprite to see what was being talked about. I'm not going to go into this just to leave some of the... because I don't want to show too much story stuff. But, yeah, unless anyone has any more questions, which I'm happy to answer, I think probably this is a good point to leave off at. Let me know. How tall is Angela? That's ish. She's big. We, the important thing is that she big. You know, it's just, it's important. Just big due to divine reasons. Yeah, Isaac, the character designer, says as tall as an Evangelion, which it means as tall as she needs to be in a given scene. her sprite is a different relative height versus her character sprite versus her showing up in the postcards versus her showing up in like the little field view sprites. In general, my experience has been working with analog. We initially tried to like have like realistic relative heights on the character sprites, and it actually turned out kind of weird. Like it just didn't look right for like graphic design reasons. Like characters just like weren't taking up the percentage of the screen that they should have, so we actually filled with it to make sure that like the short character was just short enough that she was relatively shorter than the tall one, rather than even though like the proportions were actually slightly off in that case, and it just looked better. So we've taken that with us here, and what's important is that Grace is very small but powerful. Valentin has big guns, and Angela, she big. Grace is 4 feet tall? Oh my god. That's adorable. Wow. Aw. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I think that's it for this week. Next week, we'll be crashing at Hope's normie dad's incredibly loud apartment with a bunch of terrorist friends. God-powered, anti-god terrorist friends. Yeah, fun stuff. Streaming more Final Fantasy XIII. Next week, hopefully I'll have worked on something a little more visually interesting than bug fixes on Get in the Car. We'll see. It might be another kind of short development stream, but we'll see if there's something new I can show off. So yeah, next Thursday, same time, 4-ish Eastern. And yeah, no one wants to see a programming stream. That just sounds like the most boring thing in the world. If you want to see me repeatedly watching the same animations and scowling, I don't know. I don't think my scowls look that good. I don't think you want to see that for hours. Probably not fun. Anyway, next Thursday, more fal'Cie road trip. This Sunday with me, Miguel, Andy, and Parrish on audio. We're going to be playing the original Prince of Persia, Flashback, and Another World. So games with interesting animations and rotoscoping. Please look forward to that. I think I don't know if it'll be fun. I don't know if any of those games are actually fun, but I think it'll be at least interesting. So yeah, Sunday, see the tweet, rotoscoped animation games. Next Thursday, fal'Cie road trip. Thank you so much. It's always really fun to do this stream, so thank you so much for joining me. See you next week, or Sunday.